Hey guys, welcome back. We are talking about box number 2, where it is a love soaking box. And I have with us Angelise Schrader. Thank you for coming. She wrote our book, Live Out Love, and she is our sponsored author. So yes, thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me and for all your encouragement and support.
Yes, so I've been talking about why we do this box and why we want to spotlight others. And so we want to talk a little bit about your journey through why you did this product so that people know who they're supporting and why they want to get behind that type of support for other Jesus sisters who need to be found. I don't know if you know that I say this as an author and meeting so many friends. I met Angelise along the road before we were both finished. We are definitely book sisters. She gets to be my big sister a little bit ahead of me. And we've leaned on each other a lot through the process because it's overall, it is a hard process. But when I thought like, when missionaries go out into the world, and that was something I really wanted to do young, was go out and go different places, but my family was against it and really felt like, just minister at home, which I really tried to take to the fullest when I was a kid. But which I think you maybe have the same heart. I can't wait till we get into that story, guys. We're saving that for the podcast because we're trying to be short here. But I said that authors are missionaries in the home. We're the ones that get to go in the home. And so this box is to go into the home and love on people. And I just love that we picked a love soaking box for number 2. And our goal is loving on others. So tell us, what led you to make and write this book, to make this product, write this book?
Well, thank you for just the way you steward what God has given you. And writing this book was just obedience, obeying what God put on my heart and what He had put in my hand. And He gave me the ability to write, and it helped me work through where I was in my life. And the book became a blueprint for my journey the last 5 years. I've been in and out of hospitals with one of my kids who had a 5-year pediatric cancer battle. And the book became the blueprint for me understanding what God was doing in the midst of it. And it's kind of how He like cleaned me up because I was loving from my own strength. And He wanted me first to know how loved I was by Him so that I could then overflow from a place of knowing who I was in Him. And that was what was going to change people. And so the book was written out of obedience, really for myself first. And now I'm starting to see the fruit of how it's impacting others. We're still kind of on that front edge of it because it just came out in October. But yeah, it was written out of obedience and it's blessed me. So I hope it blesses you too.
Yes. So go ahead, jump right in. What was the hardest part of the journey that God has called you to? It's
Well,
not.
that is an easy question because the whole thing, as you were saying earlier, is hard. Anytime God calls you to anything, I mean, He's going to test you and He's going to refine you. And I think the hardest part of writing a book is you have to become the message. And the book, anything you do, any ministry, any venture, you have to live it out before you can teach it. And so my book is called Live Out Love. Our witness speaks louder than our words. I have been tested over and over by these words. Can you love in the private places of your home? Can you live out your witness with the people who know you nearest and dearest, even when it's hard, even when the enemy is at work, even when like there's warfare and unforgiveness? Can you still love like Jesus? Um, and so the hardest part of writing any book is you have to become the message. And so I'm still a work in progress, but I can say that there is now fruit in my life that my husband and others can testify of. And so that means I guess I'm starting to live out some of the message um, of being being Jesus instead of just acting like Him, like learning how to love like Him, which I think for any of us is the work of a lifetime.
Yeah. Well, the testing process is definitely one that we endure, and why, again, that we even have ministry makers, that we have Jesus sisters to be like, dude, I mean, there were several times I've called Angelise and been like, I cannot believe the slander thrown at me. And they're like, and she's like, oh, that's just part of the process, honey. I just read it over here on this other guy sharing that, and just knowing, and that's again, why do authors so important? Because they minister to the heart. And so if you're a bloggist or you're an author or you're putting something out of encouragement out on Facebook, like even if somebody's not saying something, know that especially those who are walking the hard road, they see it. They might not want to comment that the whole world knows they're in that hard road, but that moment of obedience of sharing what God asked you to share does hit the heart. And so it's important to keep doing what God's called us to do. So what's been the most rewarding part?
Well, meeting people like you, getting to do something that I love, uh, I think all of us want to believe that there's purpose and a calling to our life. And so when you start to walk in it and realize, oh, this is why I was placed here. This is why I have the relationships I have in my life, the story that God has written in my life, then it gives purpose to everything. And so I think the most rewarding part is starting to step into the things that I was created to step into and starting to find like-minded people that I kind of can train and work and minister beside. So that's what I'm excited most about.
Awesome. I love that part too. Okay, why are you excited to collaborate with the others and the creators? Because these aren't just authors going in the box. We got some love soaking bath items, and we're still just pulling in the nitty gritties of what's going to be in this. And that's why I call it surprise boxes, because I don't know till the last minute what God really wants in it until it's all together, which, like when you were putting your book, you're like, okay, what was not still in here? And so you just kind of wait with open hands. But we're looking forward to a soap, maybe a bath bomb, a candle, maybe a towel, maybe a picture frame. But it's all based around the theme of just soaking in his love, like a huge bath of God's love poured over you. Why are you excited that these other people get to come and collaborate in your box with you?
I think that's the best part. I love that about ministry makers. I love what you do, Kendra. Just being able to do this with other people. We weren't made to walk alone in community and ministry. We were made to do it with others, and other people can bring so much to the table. Like I'm not a creative at all in terms of like how people make soap and earrings is just beyond me. I I am so in awe that we get to enjoy the different ways that God has equipped other people to minister and bless. And so to be able to do this in a way that kind of hits the five senses, right? I'm all about growing your mind and understanding the word better and how to love better, but like to be able to then enjoy that, to be able to feel that, to be able to smell that, it just kind of creates this whole experience. And I think that's what your boxes do, which is awesome. And I love partnering with other people who are gifted in different ways.
I'm so excited about it too, because the way you just described that reminded me of this cafe that I walked in, and like God was all over the walls. And I just started getting so excited. I was like, tell me your story of how you built this business. It's so apparent. How did I just started asking all the things. And this was like, I think I just started writing the book about Step Into Your Calling. So I was like really hungry to hear other people's stories. And I ended up putting part of her story, that was a newer testimony along the journey in the boldness of it, of some things that she had to walk through. But she just everybody's stories, everything coming together when you just get that like douse of just love anyways. Like even if the box's focus wasn't love, the products coming together, like you're saying, like seeing the other gifts and getting excited that God has such a multitude of varieties for us. It's just fun. Like, you can't have any other. I think that's why he picked me for this role, because I really genuinely get excited about what everybody else is doing. I like genuinely, like I told my friend, I said, I need to go back and find that first video of the first business I got so excited about. I know she thought I was crazy. I was like, hi, can I interview you? She was like, she's from Ukraine. So she was like, I don't talk well. I was like, no, it's perfect. And she was like, who's this crazy lady that just walked in? And like, I'm glad she loves Jesus, but she's a lot. I decided that's also why God's had me a lot more on screen, is because people can't always take me straight in person. It's a little much. So here we go. So this box will come calmly to your house that you can open up and get the woofs of God's love coming out of it. Okay, so right before we're gonna talk about why are you excited that people have the box, but I want to do a quick like dop our heads out. Because yours is the back of your book, right? I mean the front of your book. Yes.
Some of the photos shoot, yeah.
Yeah, so the themes of your book. And so we're not here to just look glitchy and hide our backgrounds, but we actually have purpose in our backgrounds. And this, Lord, let my heart overflow with love, of the First John 4:10. That's our ministry maker prayer theme for the box that we're putting Angelise's book in. I was gonna say we put you in it. But you're not gonna, but there's a good
Coming to your
part of
house.
that that is coming to be a part of this box. So what are you hoping that people get from the theme of the box that you've been picking for?
Well, that's funny that you mentioned us because I hope that they do get a whiff of what God's placed inside of us. Each one of us has a unique imprint or fingerprint of who God is. And so the box is kind of combining those things where it can come into your home and you can get taste how Jesus is flowing out of other sisters and how he wants to love on you, bless you, and equip you to step into the things he's called you to do. And for me, it's rooted in identity. Like it's only as I have come to realize how loved I am despite my flaws and my security and my authority despite environments I've had to walk into that I can live in a rooted place of peace no matter where I am. And I pray that when you get my book, at least, and the other pieces, that you feel that love, you feel equipped and you feel strengthened to take out whatever enemies are in your midst, are in your homes or in your families, and to love and let the Spirit of God flow through you and shift your environment. And so hopefully the box equips you like little tools or weapons in your arsenal to heal you and to heal your family and community.
Man, Angelus, I just love the way they like just the wolves of different Jesus, because I call them Jesus products. And I've asked myself, like, is it okay to call it a Jesus product? And just the way you wrap that up, I'm like, yes, that it's the wolf, it's the smells of Jesus as our I heard obedience is also a form of worship because you're creating with your creator. And I was just like, that's why we're so on fire to do what we do. And so yeah, just like the aromas of God's presence coming out of this box for each difference. I just love the way you had said it. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you, Angelise, for joining us. Live Out Love is the name of her book. If you're not going to get the box, definitely go get her book. And we check out the, yeah, yes,
Yeah,
right
that's
there
correct.
it is. Now you can see why the photo is what it is right now. And if you want to participate or share with ministry makers, or you belong in Jesus in ministry makers because you're a Jesus sister doing something and you need some Jesus sisters to love on you who know how to get deep in love on you, please come check us out. Go to everything through my website, www.kendra.com, and click down on Ministry Makers. You can buy the box from there and you can find out more about us to join. So God bless you guys. Thanks again for joining us. Thank you, Angelise, and goodbye now.